Emily Carter had spent most of her life trying to stay invisible. She worked long shifts at a small cafe, rented a tiny apartment, and struggled to pay bills every month. Her life was ordinary in every possible way. That was why she never imagined becoming connected to the most feared man in the city. His name was Dante Moretti. The police couldn't touch him. Rival gangs feared him. Business leaders respected him. His name alone could silence an entire room. Yet on one stormy evening, fate placed Emily directly in his path. She had finished her shift late and was walking home through a shortcut alley when she heard gunshots. Her heart nearly stopped. Instinct told her to run. But then she heard someone groan. Hidden behind a dumpster was a tall man covered in blood. Emily immediately recognized him from newspapers and television reports. Dante Moretti. The Mafia boss himself. He had been shot multiple times. Any sane person would have walked away. Emily almost did. Then she noticed his eyes. For a brief moment, the terrifying Mafia king looked vulnerable. Human. Against all logic, she helped him. Using her phone, basic first aid knowledge, and unbelievable courage, she managed to stop the bleeding long enough for help to arrive. Within minutes, black SUVs surrounded the alley. Armed men appeared everywhere. Emily expected them to thank her. Instead, she was blindfolded. When the blindfold came off, she found herself inside Dante's private mansion. A mansion she wasn't allowed to leave. Days passed. Then weeks. Nobody explained anything. Every luxury imaginable surrounded her. Designer clothes. Private chefs. Beautiful rooms. Yet every door was guarded. She wasn't a guest. She was a prisoner. And the reason soon became terrifyingly clear. Dante Moretti had become obsessed with the woman who saved his life. At first, Emily believed her captivity would end quickly. She was wrong. Dante rarely spoke. When he did, his words carried absolute authority. Nobody challenged him. Nobody questioned him. Not even Emily. Weeks turned into months. The mansion became her entire world. Every morning she woke up hoping for freedom. Every night she went to sleep disappointed. Yet something strange began happening. Dante started spending more time around her. At first he simply watched. Then he began asking questions. What was her favorite book? Favorite food? Favorite dream? Nobody understood why. Least of all Emily. The terrifying Mafia boss seemed fascinated by ordinary things about her. Meanwhile, Dante's behavior became increasingly possessive. Whenever another man looked at Emily, he became furious. Whenever she mentioned leaving, his mood darkened. The mansion staff whispered behind closed doors. They all saw it. Their boss was falling in love. But Dante didn't understand love. He understood ownership. Control. Power. And those dangerous instincts transformed his feelings into obsession. One evening Emily confronted him. You can't keep me here forever. The room became silent. Dante slowly stood. His dark eyes locked onto hers. I can. The calmness in his voice terrified her more than shouting ever could. For the first time Emily realized something important. Dante genuinely believed she belonged to him. Not because she loved him. Not because she chose him. Because he had decided it. And that decision was becoming increasingly dangerous. The golden cage around her was getting smaller every day. Months later, everything changed again. Emily began seeing a different side of Dante. A side nobody else ever witnessed. Behind the ruthless reputation was a man carrying deep scars. His childhood had been brutal. Trust had always led to betrayal. Love had always ended in pain. Emily became the first person who treated him like a human being instead of a king. That frightened him. The more he cared about her, the more controlling he became. His fear of losing her grew stronger every day. Then came the turning point. Emily discovered she was pregnant. The news shocked her. Terrified her. She knew exactly what it meant. If Dante learned the truth, she might never escape. For days she kept the secret hidden. But secrets never stayed hidden inside Dante's world. When he eventually found out, his reaction stunned everyone. Instead of anger, he became even more possessive. Security doubled. The mansion became a fortress. Emily finally understood something horrifying. Dante wasn't protecting her. He was protecting his future. His family. His child. His obsession had reached a level no one could control. And that was exactly why she decided to run. Escaping Dante Moretti seemed impossible. Yet impossible things happen when survival is involved. Emily spent weeks planning. Studying guard routines. Finding weaknesses. Waiting for the perfect moment. Then one night, opportunity arrived. A conflict between rival mafia organizations created chaos throughout the city. Security focused outward. Not inward. Emily made her move. Using a service entrance and forged documents, she disappeared. For the first time in years, she tasted freedom. But freedom came at a price. When Dante discovered her disappearance, the city exploded. Businesses were searched. Airports monitored. Private investigators hired. Millions were spent. Rival gangs thought a war had started. In reality, Dante was searching for one woman. The woman carrying his child. Weeks became months. Emily remained hidden. But every newspaper carried stories about the increasingly unstable mafia boss. People whispered that Dante Moretti had lost his mind. Perhaps they were right. Because the most powerful man in the underworld was being defeated by something he had never experienced before. Loss. Nearly a year later, Dante finally found her. Not through violence. Not through power. Through patience. When he saw Emily again, everything changed. The fearless mafia boss looked broken. Exhausted. Desperate. Then he saw the child. His child. For several seconds, the powerful king of the underworld couldn't speak. Years of fear, anger, and obsession suddenly felt meaningless. The tiny baby in Emily's arms changed everything. For the first time, Dante understood the difference between love and possession. Love wasn't locking someone away. Love wasn't controlling their choices. Love was letting them stay because they wanted to. The realization shattered him. Emily saw genuine regret in his eyes. Not manipulation. Not strategy. Regret. Slowly, cautiously, they began rebuilding trust. It wasn't easy. Some wounds never disappear completely. But over time, Dante changed. The dangerous obsession that once trapped Emily transformed into something healthier. Something real. And the mafia boss who once caged her like a bird eventually learned the hardest lesson of his life. The strongest chains are not made of steel. They're made of fear. And the only way to break them is through love.